Okay, there's some things that I want to explain to you before we start. Let me share. I hope you can see my OneNote, right? Okay, so can you see my OneNote? You see me
Yes,
writing?
doctor. Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you for your response because now I'm feeling like I'm talking to myself, you see? Okay, uh, okay. There's some things that I need your attention. Okay, number one, sometimes you may see in the prescription something like this: sick 5 ml BD 5/7. Okay, sick means label as 5 ml twice a day. What does this mean? This actually means 5 days. Okay, 5 days. Okay, you see, if I write 1/7, it means 1 day. Why? Because in 1 week, there's 7 days. If I say 1/52, it means 1 month. Why? Because in 1 year, we have 52 weeks. If I say 1/12, it means, sorry, this is 1 week, sorry. This is 1 week. If 1/12, it means 1 month. Why? Because in 1 year, we have 12 months. So 1/7 means 1 day, 1/52 means 1 week, and 1/12 means 1 month. So if I say to supply the drug for 3/52, it means this is for 3 weeks. Okay? So if I say to supply the drug for 3/12, it means for 3 months. Okay? And if I say sick 1/1 tab 10/7, it means that to supply to label one tablet for 10 days. This means 10 days. Okay, this is the kind of abbreviation that the doctors like to use in the hospital or in the clinic. And at times they just write like this, like that. So how are you going to understand this? Right? So it takes experience for you to decipher what the doctor write. So it's very, very tricky. So if they say like this, 2/7 means 2 days. Okay, so you will see later on as you go along in this 4 years, as you go in maybe in your clinical years, you will see more of this weird handwriting. So, and I believe pharmacist has a neater handwriting than doctors. So, but don't tell them about this. I'm just bragging. Anyway, so you have to know about this. Okay, this is one of the things that they like to use. Okay, now that is one thing, and another thing I want to explain to you is that we have different dosage forms. We have solutions, we have suspension, we have emulsions, okay, and etc. etc. Okay, solutions means that everything is soluble. You would not see any particles floating around. That is the meaning of solution. Nothing should be floating around. But if you see a suspension means there are particles that are suspended in the product. So in your paracetamol suspension, as an example, if you have seen one, the product is actually, is a bit cloudy because the particles are there. You can see the white particles floating around. But emulsion is more like milk, like whitish milky. Okay, it's because it's the mixture between oil and water. This is what an emulsion is. So when you want to prepare a solution, okay, if you want to prepare a solution, you have your beaker or your mortar, Do you know mortar? Mortar is something like your lesung batu dekat rumah. So it's like this. Okay. So when we want to prepare a product in the lab or at the hospital or pharmacy, usually we will use a mortar. Okay, but it's not like your lesung batu, you're exactly like your lesung batu at your house. It's more, it is made of a porcelain. Okay, so it's a whitish. Okay, now when you want to prepare a solution, you would put in the liquid first. You put in the liquid or the solvent that you want to use to solubilize your powder. You put the liquid first, then only you put in. So number one liquid, number two is your powder to be solubilized. So that is the sequence. First liquid, second powder. And this powder you should put in portion. Okay, little by little. Do not put everything at one go because that will make it it's harder to solubilize as compared to if you put portion by portion. So this is if you want to prepare a solution. Okay, but it's different than if you want to prepare a suspension. A suspension, as I explained earlier on, it is something that is not soluble. Okay, so what you will do is that you have your mortar and pestle. You would put your powder first. You put your powder first. You mix your powder, and let's say you have 2 or 3 type of powder. Okay, you put all your powder first. You mix them well, and then number two, only you put your liquid. And at this point, adding the liquid should be made portion by portion. Okay, the second thing that you put in should be put portion by portion. You shouldn't put all at once. Why? This will help in the mixing between the powder, the insoluble powder, and the liquid. If you put the liquid all at once, it is much harder to separate suspend the powder in the liquid. So this is among the things that you have to pay attention to when you want to prepare either solution or suspension. Okay, this is the technique. Okay, okay. Okay, let's go to the BPC. I want to show you a bit on the BPC. Okay, so this is the BPC that you have that I have uploaded in the eLearn. Okay, so BPC is actually a reference book, what we call a pharmacopoeia. Pharmacopoeia is the standard or gold reference for pharmacists or pharmaceutical formulator because they will tell you about the product or about the ingredient that we need or that we are going to use. Okay, in the pharmacopoeia, like in this pharmacopoeia, this is a very old book, okay, but I still want to use this old book because it's much easier for teaching purposes. I can use the British pharmacopoeia, the latest 2020. I can use that, but it's bigger. You know, this one has already 1,000 pages. The British Pharmacopoeia year 2020, there's like 6 volumes. You know, not one volume. There's six thick books. So I can't use that for teaching. Is more complicated. So for teaching purposes, we still use this BPC, although it's old, but it's still valuable. Okay, the information that we have in here is still valuable. Okay, now you can see in this, what I want to find is this, okay, here. Okay, there are different parts in the BPC. Okay, we have part 1 until part 6. Part 1 until part 6. Okay, in part 1, you have the drugs and pharmaceutical adjuvants, or what we call the monograph. Monograph is okay, what we call as monograph. Okay. Monograph is actually the part that will tell us about the ingredient that we will use in a formulation. As an example, if we want to use sucrose in the preparation, in the monograph section, you will be able to see um, what is actually sucrose. What is the color of a sucrose? Is it a crystal form or is it a liquid form? Is it soluble in water or is it soluble in alcohol? So all this will be explained in the monograph section. So let's have a look. Okay, as an example, okay, the first one is acacia. You can see here, it tells you that acacia, the solubility is here, almost entirely soluble in 2 parts of water. So what is the meaning of 2 parts? 2 parts mean, if water, it means ml. So it means that if it say almost soluble in 2 parts of water, it means that 1 gram of acacia is soluble in 2 ml of water. Okay, that is the meaning of almost entirely soluble in 2 ml of water. And it also tell you here that storage, it should be stored in a cool, dry place. Okay, and hygroscopicity. What is hygroscopic? Hygroscopic means the ability of the powder to attract humidity from the environment. So if let's say you leave acacia on your bench top for some times, so it will you can see here, but relative it absorbs substantial amount of moisture. So relative humidity is above 70%, it absorbs substantial amount of moisture. So what do you think is the relative humidity in our country? Our country is very humid. So it will be about 60 to 70% of our relative humidity in our country. So if you leave it on the bench, it will absorb the moisture. Okay, so in this monograph section, it will tell you all this. Okay, it will tell you all the necessary information about the ingredient. So as an example, acetazolamide, it tells you that it is a fine white or yellowish white crystalline odorless powder. Okay, why is this important? Because let's say I ask you to take acetazolamide from the rack. Okay, go and take this drug or this compound from the rack. When you read in BPC, you see that it is a white or yellowish white crystalline powder. But when you go to the rack, you see that the powder in a bottle labeled as acetazolamide is pink in color. It's pink. But in BPC, it's written as yellowish white. So what should you do? Should you still take that bottle or should you find another bottle? Okay, this will serve as a reference to you to tell you that what is the correct appearance of the powder that you should take from the rack when you want to prepare the product. Okay, and also in the monograph section also tell you about the dose. Okay, as a diuretic, as an example here, 250 to 500 milligram of this drug is given by mouth once daily or every other day. It means that if you see in a prescription acetazolamide 100 milligram OD, so you should know already that 100 milligram is insufficient. It should be between 250 to 500 milligram. Okay, this is how you read the monograph. Okay, so there's a whole section on monograph. It's very long, but it should help you in preparing your product. Okay, the second part in this, the second important part that I want to take your attention to is this one. Is this section, the formulation section. Formulary, okay? In this section, about page 640 like that, okay? So under the formulary, there are different formula that we can use. Okay, as an example, if I ask you to prepare a cream or wait, or elixir. The exercise 1.1 is paracetamol elixir, right? So let's see here, paracetamol elixir. Okay, here. So under the paracetamol elixir, pediatric BPC 1973, it's already specified what are the ingredients that should be used for the preparation of this elixir. So first of all, is the paracetamol, of course, 24 gram in 1000 ml. So this is the amount that should be used. And then amaranth solution. What is amaranth solution? We will discuss after this, okay? So in this section, it's already specified to us what are the ingredients that needs to be used, okay? So this is how you read BPC. And also under this formulary, you can see that there's a dose, okay? Dose for children up to 1 year is 5 milliliter, up to 1 year. So meaning that between at 1 year old, the dose should be 5 milliliter. But 1 to 5 years old, it can go up to 10 milliliter. But of course, we wouldn't give 10 milliliter to 2-year-old and 10 milliliter to 5-year-old. They are different, right? So here lies the judgment of the medical doctors. But afterwards, I will explain to you also on how to calculate exactly the dose for children. Okay, so that would be the BPC. Are you okay until now?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, doctor.
Boleh follow?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor. Yes,
Yeah.
doctor.
Okay. Okay, now. Sekejap Okay. Sekejap I nak kacau Ustaz. Kenapa? Pergi makan kat luar boleh? Pergi makan dekat luar. Makan kat luar. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the compounding worksheet. Okay. The compounding worksheet that I've already given to you will be served as a reference when you will prepare your product later on. So now what you have to do after our tutorial, you would need to fill the compounding worksheet for each of the prescription that I give you. Okay, so how should you fill this compounding worksheet? I will give you a reference afterwards on how to prepare this. But basically, this is how. Okay, it's upside down. Okay, this is how you should prepare. I will send to you this afterwards. So basically, in the ingredient section, you should list all the ingredient that you will use and the quantity to be used. The physical state, you can look in BPC, whether it's white, yellow, pink powder, crystal powder. Okay, you can look in BPC. Solubility, you can also find in BPC, whether it's soluble in 2 parts, in 10 ml or whatever, you can find in BPC. The prescribed range means what is prescribed, what is given in the prescription. So as an example is here. So if according to BPC, to prepare the paracetamol elixir, to prepare the paracetamol elixir, you would need 24 gram of paracetamol. So the 24 gram paracetamol should be written in the prescribed range. Okay. 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 It's a bit tricky with this. Okay. Okay. The 24 grams should be written in the prescribed range, and the accepted range you should be able to find in BPC. So where can you find this? You can go to BPC and then you find under paracetamol. Okay, so this is the paracetamol elixir, page 674. But you should be able to find the monograph on paracetamol under the monograph section. Okay, and you can look there what is the accepted range for paracetamol. So that will be the same thing as the other ingredient needed to prepare the paracetamol elixir as listed in the BPC. Okay. Do you have any question? If you want me to repeat, is it okay?
Oh, doctor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the prescribed range? The one you said 24 gram.
Okay. So if you look in BPC, all right. Mana paracetamol elixir tadi? Okay. The prescription that I give you, okay. You receive this prescription, right? Exercise 1.1. In the prescription, it asks you to prepare paracetamol elixir pediatric BPC 1973. So because there's BPC here, you know it's a standard formula that you can find in the BPC. So you can open BPC and you will find this formula in BPC. So according to the BPC, right? According to the BPC, paracetamol given is 24 gram in 1000 ml. To make it even clearer, if it's more easier for you to understand, I will do like this. Okay. In the BPC, it said that 24 gram of paracetamol in 1000 ml. Okay. Then the prescribed dose up to 1 year, it should be 5 milliliter. So you see in the 5 milliliter. You see in the prescription, it's given here that the age is 2 years old. Okay, but the doctor still prescribe 5 ml. Although, according to the BPC, the dose should be 5 milliliter up to 1 year, right? 5 milliliter up to 1 year. 5 milliliter up to 1 year. When he or she is 2 years old, it should be more than 5 milliliter. But here the doctor still prescribe 5 milliliter. Is that a problem? Okay, is that a problem? That's why we need to identify this problem by writing in the compounding worksheet. Okay, in the compounding worksheet, you can say if 24 gram is available in 1000 ml, in each 5 ml, how many milligram of paracetamol should be there? Okay, if you calculate this, 24 gram times 5 divide by 1000, it should be berapa?
0.12.
0.12.
12.
0.12. Sekejap. Okay. 0.12 gram. So equal to 120 milligram. So it means that for the formula, in each 5 ml, they should contain 120 milligram. Okay, so this is what given by BPC. Okay, so if you want to I think this should be better for you. In the compounding worksheet, in the compounding worksheet here, you should write paracetamol 120 milligram in 5 ml. Then you have to find the accepted range for paracetamol. What is the accepted range of paracetamol for a 2-year-old child? So how can you do that? So the accepted range for a child, okay, so this time I will give to you the accepted range, as this is your first time, but after this I think you should be able to find in the PPC. The accepted range for a child is 10 to 15 mg per kg per dose. Okay, it means that if the child is, you have to know the weight of the child. So you look again, what is the weight? 10 kilogram. So it's 10 mg times 10 kilogram, right? Equal 100 mg per dose. So this is the accepted, minimum accepted dose. The maximum should be 15 mg times 10 equal 150 mg per dose. So the accepted range should be between 100 to 150 mg per kg. Sorry, not per kg. Okay, 100 to 150 mg. So that is the accepted range. And you go back to your compounding worksheet. Just now you say you calculate is 120 mg per 5 ml, right? So each dose that child will receive 120, and the accepted range is between 150 to 100 to 150 milligram per dose. Per dose is 5 ml lah, right? So this means that this prescribed range is between the accepted range. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Boleh? Okay. So that's how you find you compare between the prescribed range and the accepted range. By filling this, you should be able to detect if there's any insufficiency in the dose or if there's any overdose. Okay. You can detect by filling this table. Use in the prescription means that, yeah?
Hi, doctor.
Yeah.
I couldn't really understand about the accepted range. Can you repeat again?
Okay. So the accepted range actually means that how much of what is the dose of one of each drug that is accepted based on the current guideline. Okay, so for each drug actually we have a certain window, certain window means that the minimum dose is this and the maximum dose is that. We cannot go beyond the maximum dose because that will bring more side effect to the patient. So as an example, for this drug, paracetamol, okay, paracetamol, for paracetamol, the accepted range usually is between 10 to 15 mg per kg per dose. What does it mean by dose? Dose means each time how many ml you give. You give 5 ml, right? Based on the prescription, it's 5 ml. Right here. It asks you to formulate a 5 ml product. So one dose is 5 ml, but the child should receive 3 times a day because TDS. Okay. Now, so the weight of the child is 10 kilogram. If you can see from here, the prescription is given already that the weight of the child is 10 kilogram. So now, so this is the minimum dose, 10, and the maximum dose is 15. So to know the minimum dose for this particular child, 10 mg per kg times 10 kg because the weight of the child is 10 kg. So the answer is 100 milligram. This would be the minimum dose. Okay, but the maximum dose you can calculate 15 mg per kg times 10 kg equal to 150 mg. So this is the maximum dose. So the accepted range would be between 100 to 150 mg of paracetamol for one dose. One dose is 5 ml, right? So one dose is 5 ml. So in the compounding worksheet, you already write for paracetamol. The prescribed range is 120 over 5 ml. So meaning that 120 for one dose lah. Okay. And the accepted range is 100 to 150 mg per dose. You get me?
Dr. Faham, thank you.
Boleh ke? Okay. So maybe this is quite a new concept to you. It's okay. You try to bertafakur and you will be able to understand after this. Okay. So basically, all drugs will have the range, minimum and maximum range. Okay. Usually there will be a range. Especially for very toxic drug, we have to be very careful with the range. When the range is very small, we have to be even more careful. Okay, so that's how you will fill this compounding worksheet. And this labeling, okay, what you should prepare in a label, I will discuss after this. And the container, what kind of container? Okay, I cannot show you now because I don't have the bottle with me. But basically, we have two types of container. We have two types of container. One is fluted bottle, and the other one is non-fluted bottle. Okay. Fluted bottles means the bottle have a line. I think if you have the experience to go to the klinik kesihatan or hospitals, if they dispense to you something that shouldn't be eaten, maybe a gargle or something like a mouthwash or something like that, the bottle will be labeled in red, and there will be like a line, okay, line on the bottle. So this is what we call fluted bottle. Fluted bottles is usually used for external product. External means something that shouldn't be eaten. Okay, something to use on the surface of the body, or just for gargle, or just for washing of wound or something like that. Why do we need this fluted or line on the bottle? Because number one is we want to prevent someone who cannot see clearly from drinking it. So it's like it's like something that as a warning. Okay, this is not something to be eaten. And number two is because to prevent slip, because if in the toilet it might be quite slippery, right? When you hold this kind of bottle, so it's like prevent any spillage or something like that. Okay, so fluted bottle for external use. And for external use also, you should know that the label should be in red color. Red color label. Okay, this is a warning that this is not something to be eaten. And you should also put on the label not to be eaten or not to be taken by mouth or something like that. Okay. Okay, this is one. The second one is non-fluted bottle. Non-fluted bottles mean the normal bottle without any line. Okay, so this is for internal product. Okay, this is for internal product. This is non-fluted bottle. Okay, so there's two types of bottle in our lab. So if you are going to prepare something for external use, so you should use fluted bottle, and non-fluted bottle for the one to be taken internally. So we have different volume of bottle. We have 50 ml, we have 100 ml, and we have 200 ml bottle. And the same for fluted bottle. We have 50, 100, and 250 ml. So you should use the correct type of bottle, the correct size of bottle for the correct for the proportion that you are going to prepare. If you are going to prepare 40 ml of product, okay, so of course you can use a 50 ml bottle. Okay, you shouldn't use 100 ml bottle because this will be too big. When this too big, when you give a product to patient, okay, this is let's say 100 ml and you give only half because it's just 40 ml. Patient will say you kedekut. Okay, kedekut. Pharmacist kedekut. Pharmacist doesn't want to give enough. Okay, that's why we will use a suitable bottle for the sufficient amount of just enough to fill in the product. Okay, so okay, you have any question? Boleh? Okay. For the expiry date here, I will give you also a table specifying the expiry date for each product. So if a product is supposed to be used like as an example, a product for taken internally, and we don't put any preservative, so the expiry should be only 2 weeks. So I will give you a table on this for you to refer. Okay, I will upload in the e-learn after this. Okay, for labeling is very important because it's governed by our law. So the rule for labeling, I will also the rule for labeling. Okay, it's here. I will also give this after this to you, so you can refer better. Okay. Okay, now in each of the label, you should have all these things in a label. Okay, because this is according to our Poison Act. Okay, so you should have the name of the patient in full. Okay, you have to have the name of the patient. Name of the medicine have to be written clearly, and the strength. This is what students usually forget to put in a label during exam, the strength of the product. Direction for use, 10 ml to be taken 2 times a day for 5 days. This is very, very important, okay? And also additional label or auxiliary label, like shake the bottle before use, protect from light and things like that. And the expiry, please discard after 2 weeks. And in the bracket here, you should put the date when the expiry is, okay? And dispensing date, okay? And for external product should be labeled in red with the words for external use only. So, and the name of the clinic here, is our school lah, for the purpose of the practical. But then the name of the clinic is very important to be included in the label. So this is governed by law. So if you don't follow the label, means that you don't follow the law, okay? And you can be fined due to this mistake. Okay. Okay, so that is the label. Okay, here is the calculation. So any calculation that you do to prepare the product can be written in this section. And here, the compounding procedure, we will discuss after this about the how to prepare each product. But then you have to write here. Number 1, what did you do? Number 2, apa? Number 3, apa? So you have to write all the thing that you do in this procedure part. But then you have to write also, you have to remember that you have to write in passive voice form. Okay, passive voice means 2 gram of powder A was added into the mixture. It's not that you write like add 2 gram of powder into the mixture. That's the active form. You have to write in passive form. I will give you after this some sample on how to prepare this compounding worksheet. Okay, I will give you after this. Okay, now let us move to your prescription. Do you have any question? Okay. Okay, exercise 1.1. Exercise 1.1 asks you to prepare paracetamol elixir pediatric BPC 1973. So if you see in this prescription, there's the instruction, okay, what should be labeled with, and that's the name of the product, and then there's the age of the patient. So here I would like you to complete with your name, okay, your name, your address, the date that you receive this prescription, gender, and also later on you have to complete the prescription. Okay, how to complete the prescription is also in the guide that I will send to you after this. A prescription should be completed like this. Okay, this is the instruction, the original instruction given, and you would need to draw a table in the prescription specifying how much of each ingredient that you use. And you will have to sign there, prepared by your name and the date of the lab session that you will do later. Okay, you have to write, to put down your signature, prepared by you. Okay, this is also governed by the law. You have to put down your signature on the prescription. This is another signature by the doctor. The doctor will also have to sign on the prescription, but here is the pharmacist who prepare the product. Okay, now, so how can we prepare this paracetamol elixir? I already show you in BPC, you can get the full formula, but then before that, how many ml do you need to prepare? Okay, how many ml? According to this prescription, it's 5 ml TDS for 5 days. So, it means that 5 ml TDS for 5 days. It should be 15 times 5 equal 75 ml. So this is how much you should be preparing. Okay. So what is elixir? We will have a separate lecture on that. So elixir basically is a clear sweetened alcoholic liquid. So when you see the word elixir, it means that in the product there's an alcohol there. A kind of alcohol should be present. Why is alcohol important? Because alcohol in this preparation will help to solubilize the powder or the ingredient that is difficult to be solubilized. But nowadays, the preparation, elixir preparation is not that many anymore in the market, because as there's alcohol is never a good thing for children especially. So we try to avoid using alcohol in the preparation. Okay, so there's not much elixir nowadays in the market or in the clinical setting. Okay, now, according to BPC, the ingredient that we use are paracetamol, amaranth solution, chloroform spirit, raspberry juice, propylene glycol, alcohol 95, invert syrup, and glycerol. The QSAD is glycerol, not water, okay? So it means that it's very thick. The solution is thick. But then in our lab, we don't have amaranth solution, so we'll change this to carmoazine. Amaranth solution is basically a red coloring agent. So carmoazine is also the red coloring agent that we have in the lab. Okay. Chloroform spirit maintain. We don't use raspberry syrup because we will use, we don't use raspberry juice because we will use raspberry syrup. Okay. And then we have propylene glycol, alcohol 95, and glycerol. So the volume here is based on the BPC, but I just changed the carmoazine to 10 ml instead of 2 ml amaranth solution. Okay. Okay, from here, I think you should be able to calculate already for 75 ml how much of each ingredient that will be needed. Okay, so you can do this calculation. Okay, one point that you need to note is that because we changed the formula from I changed from amaranth solution to carmoazine, I don't use raspberry juice. Okay, because we changed the formula in the label later on, we cannot use we cannot say it's paracetamol elixir BPC because we changed the formula. It's not the BPC formula anymore. So in this case, we will call it paracetamol elixir only. Okay. Okay, now, so how should we prepare the product? Okay, so I have written some basic method here. You should be able to write in a more better way, okay, because you have to write in passive voice form anyway. So the one that I say here is, first you have to tear a suitable container. What does it mean by tearing? Tearing means that you take the bottle. In this case, you would be using 100 ml bottle, right? You would use 100 ml because the final volume is 75 ml. Okay, so you should use 100 ml bottle. Non-fluted bottle, non-fluted bottle. Okay. You take the bottle, and then you take your measuring cylinder. You measure 75 ml of water. Okay, and then you pour this into the bottle. It will be like this, right? And then you take a marker or a sticker, you put a mark here. So this is the label for 75 ml. So after this, you throw away the water and let the bottle dry. Okay, so this is how you do tearing. What it means here is that you are putting a mark on the bottle. Where is the 75 ml? So later on, when you prepare your product, you will just put everything, and then you will make sure it reach the 75 ml mark. Okay. Now, you have to after you tear the bottle and you let the bottle dry, you can mix the chloroform spirit. How much the chloroform spirit? 1.5 ml. So you measure 1.5 ml by using a pipette. You measure 1.5 ml of chloroform spirit, and then propylene glycol 7.5 ml by using a measuring cylinder, and then alcohol 95 7.5 ml by using a measuring cylinder, and then you mix them in a beaker. Separately, you can weigh the paracetamol 1.8 gram. You put in a mortar, okay, and then put in the alcohol mix just now. The one that you already put in the beaker, you already mixed that. You transfer those alcohol mix into the mortar, into the paracetamol. You are going to select the paracetamol now, and you use the pestle to dissolve all the paracetamol in the alcohol. After all is dissolved, you can add the raspberry syrup, 20 ml. You can use like a measuring cylinder, okay, to measure the 20 ml, and then you pour it into the mortar. You mix them well, okay, and then you can add the carmazine. Carmazine is the coloring agent. You measure by using a pipette, 0.75 ml. You measure, and then you add in the mortar, and then you stir well. You stir, and then you can transfer that mixture into the bottle just now. So meaning that first you have your beaker. You put in alcohol, propylene glycol, and chloroform spirit. You put the three inside. You use a glass rod and you stir. Okay. Second, you take a mortar and pestle. You pour in your paracetamol powder. Okay. And then third, now you have your powder in the mortar. You pour in the alcohol mix. Okay, this one you pour in. Okay, you pour in and then you stir. Now you have a solution of your paracetamol plus alcohol. Okay, you add in your raspberry syrup. And then you add in your carmazine. Then you mix. Now you have a pink color solution here. You will pour this into your bottle. Okay, the one that you put mark at 75 just now, right? So when you pour in, it will be like maybe around here. Okay, maybe like 30 ml or something. You have 45 ml more to put. So what should you do? You take the glycerol, because the QSAD is glycerol, right? You take glycerol. This glycerol you can use to rinse this mortar just now. You rinse this, any balance, you pour inside, and then it would be, okay, this is 75 mark. It will be something here. Okay, you need a little bit more. You pour in glycerol in until the mark. Okay, you pour glycerol until the mark, and then now you have already 75 ml. So what should you do after this? When you pour in the glycerol in, you have 75 ml, and then you put the cap, you shake to have a homogeneous mixture. Okay, so that's basically you have your product, and then you put on your label. Do you have any question? Is it difficult? Is it difficult to follow? Ke semua dah tidur?
No, doctor.
Boleh ke?
Boleh.
Boleh? Boleh, ha? Okay. Okay, for the label. So this should be how the label, this is how the label will look like. Okay. Okay, for the label, actually, in the lab, we have empty label paper. You can use the label in the lab you can take the empty paper and you can write on the paper. Okay. But if you want to prepare yourself at home, it's also possible. It's not a problem. Okay. So the label should be 75 ml paracetamol elixir, 5 ml to be taken 3 times a day. Discard after 4 weeks. So these 4 weeks, you have to put the date 4 weeks after you prepare. It means that it depends on when your lab session will be later on. So I would suggest you to leave the date empty first and fill that later. Okay. The name should be your name. The name should be your name. And the dispensing date would be the date when you prepare the product. Okay. So that is exercise 1.1. Okay. We take a 5-minute break. Okay. Okay, let us continue. Okay. Okay. Exercise 1.2. Exercise 1.2, you are asked to prepare compound glucose, sodium chloride, and sodium citrate oral solution BP. And you are given the formula. You are given the formula which will use anhydrous glucose 20 gram, sodium chloride 3.5 gram, sodium citrate 2.5 gram, and water QSAD 1000 ml. You are asked to submit or to give to the patient 200 ml. And the instruction SIG is UTDIC. I think you should be able to understand by now that UTDIC means as directed. Okay. Okay, so if you calculate, you would find that the amount of each ingredient needed are as follows. Okay, so how can you prepare this product? So first, you should decide whether it's fluted or non-fluted. So it should be non-fluted because this is for oral intake, because it's oral solution. So again, you have to remember, because it's a solution, everything should be solubilized in the water. Okay. And the size of the bottle that you should use is 200 ml because you are going to supply 200 ml to the patient. So first, what you have to do is to tear the bottle with 200 ml of water. And then you have to weigh the glucose, sodium chloride, and sodium citrate, weigh them separately, and solubilize them in a portion of water separately. How much of water that you need to use? Here you should be able to know by referring to the BPC. In BPC, you can find the information what is the solubility of sodium citrate, sodium chloride, and glucose in water. So you have to use the correct amount of water to solubilize this ingredient. So solubilize them separately in a separate beaker. So now you have a solution of sodium citrate, sodium chloride, and anhydrous glucose. So after you have the solution of these three ingredients, then you can mix them. Okay, you can mix them, transfer into the bottle, into the tap bottle, and add in water until it reached 200 ml. So that would be the easiest way to prepare it. Because here there's another way, which is that you dissolve the powder one by one in the same beaker. But you can also use this method, but there is a risk that you will have some difficulties to solubilize them. Okay, so the first way is better, which you solubilize them separately. Okay, so the level should be 200 ml compound glucose, sodium chloride, and sodium citrate oral solution. As the instruction is to use as directed. Okay, store in refrigerator, discard after 24 hours. Why 24 hours? Because this particular products, especially, was given the instruction to be discarded after 24 hours. This is a special instruction for this product. Okay. Okay, so that would be for exercise 1.2. 1.3.
Sorry for disturbing, doctor. I can't
Yes.
follow it because you haven't shared your screen.
Oh my god, kenapa tak cakap? Okay. Boleh nampak ke?
Yes, doctor. Now we can see.
Sorry, so I will repeat. Okay, so exercise 1.2, you are given the formula, right, in your prescription?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, okay. So 20 gram of glucose, 3.5 gram of sodium chloride, and 2.5 gram of sodium citrate. and water until 1000. So if you calculate the ingredient, okay, you will be able to find that you need about 4 gram of glucose, 0.7 gram of sodium chloride, 0.5 gram of sodium citrate, and 200 ml of water until 200 ml. So how should you prepare this? The first one, as I explained earlier on, you have to tear the bottle. Okay, you tear the bottle and then you weigh the glucose, sodium chloride, and sodium citrate. You weigh them separately and dissolve them separately in a beaker. Okay, how much water to use? As I mentioned earlier on, you can refer to BPC. Okay, how much water to be used. After you separate them and then you mix them, you mix the 3 solutions and then you transfer into the bottle. And then you use water to make up the volume until 200 ml. Okay, the label should be like this. Okay, 200 ml of compound glucose, sodium chloride, and sodium citrate. Use as directed and store in refrigerator. Okay, discard after 24 hours. Okay, because for this product is the instruction specifically in BP is to discard after 24 hours. Boleh ke? Or you have any problem?
No problem, doctor.
Boleh? Okay. So I will continue. 1.3. I'm a bit tired. Okay. 1.3 is you will have to prepare chlorhexidine solution, dilute BPC. Chlorhexidine is like an antiseptic. Okay, it's an antiseptic that's used to clean wounds. Okay, one of the use lah. Okay, so here you would need to prepare chlorhexidine solution as instructed in the BPC. How much to supply is 100 ml, and the instruction is to dilute 5 ml to 1 cup of water. So what is 1 cup? It's 1 cup full equal to 240 ml of water, right? So this is to clean surgical wound. Okay. Okay, so if you refer to BPC, the parent formula would call for 25 ml of chlorhexidine gluconate solution, carmazine, the coloring agent, alcohol 95, and purified water. And if you have to supply 100 ml, then you can calculate that you would need 2.5 ml of chlorhexidine gluconate and the other ingredient. Okay. So here actually you can try to calculate the percent of chlorhexidine available in the diluted solution. Okay, how is that 5 ml to be diluted to 240 ml? So there should be 2.5 ml in 100 ml, right? 2.5 ml here in each 100 ml. So thus, if you take 5 ml to be diluted, in the 5 ml, there should be 0.125 ml of chlorhexidine. So the same amount would be available in 240 ml. And then from here, you can derive the percent volume over volume of chlorhexidine available in the diluted solution. Okay, so this is just an additional calculation. It's not required by the prescription, but just for you to practice the calculation. Okay. So for this product, because this is to clean a surgical wound, it means that this is for external use. So you have to use a fluted bottle. Okay, fluted bottle. 100 ml fluted bottle. So what you should do is you should measure the chlorhexidine and alcohol. Okay, 2.5 ml you measure by using a pipette, and then alcohol you measure by using a measuring cylinder. You mix them in a beaker, and then you can add the coloring agent, the carmazine. You transfer into the bottle. Okay, and then you add purified water until 100 ml. Okay, and the label, okay, the label here should be red in color. Okay, the label here should be red in color. You should have something red in the label. Okay, maybe it's just the name of the clinic, or the whole label is red. Okay, the label should have red color to indicate that it's for external use. And the instructions should be clear. 5 ml to be diluted in a cup of water, or you can even put here in a cup of water 240 ml. You can add in like that. Okay, and for cleaning of surgical wound. Okay, you have any question? Okay. 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 Okay, next. 1.4 is the last one, I think. Yes. 1.4 is an interesting product, and I like this because when you prepare this product later on, you will smell a very nice smell of menthol. For me, it's nice lah. For some people, maybe like you know, you feel like dizzy because it's so so cold. You know, menthol is quite special. So menthol is in the form of crystal. Okay, it's a menthol crystal. And eucalyptus oil is these two ingredients is commonly available in products for sprain, okay, untuk sakit otot. Okay, so this is the kind of product, kind of ingredient that is available in such product. Okay, so in this particular prescription, you are going to prepare an inhalation. So menthol inhalation to help with blocked nose. Okay, so this is one of the product. Okay, so what you would need are menthol, eucalyptus oil, magnesium carbonate, and distilled water. So according to the master formula, you would need 1.75% weight over volume of menthol, 8 ml of eucalyptus oil, magnesium carbonate light. It just gives you as QS. QS means sufficiently. So I will show you how to calculate how much is needed. And distilled water QSAD 80 ml. The instruction is to mite 90 ml. 90 ml. And the instruction is to add 5 ml into 240 ml of hot water and to inhale the vapor. That would be the instruction to the patient. So I think you can easily, sorry, this is supposed to be, this is supposed to be 50 ml. What was given to you, 50 or 90?
50, doctor.
50, okay. So mite 50. So from here, I think easily you can calculate that you need 0.875 gram of menthol, 5 ml of eucalyptus oil, magnesium carbonate. This is the what I will show you after this, okay? And water QSAD 50. So how to calculate how much magnesium carbonate is needed? Okay, before that, what is the use of magnesium carbonate in this prescription? Is that if you see there's menthol and eucalyptus oil, you are going to mix an oil in water. Usually, when you want to add oil in water, we will prepare an emulsion. But in this case, if we want to prepare an emulsion of eucalyptus oil, for inhalational use, it would be difficult to inhale the menthol and the eucalyptus oil because when you prepare emulsion, the oil will be inside the water phase, so it's not easy to be able to inhale the oil. So in this formulation, basically we are going to prepare a suspension instead of an emulsion. Suspension is more liquidy as compared to emulsion. So when we prepare a suspension, it's much more easier for the inhalation purposes. Okay. Okay, so the formula is, this is a formula that you need to know specifically for this product. is that uh, in order to calculate the amount of magnesium carbonate needed, you would have to know that the ratio between magnesium carbonate and volatile oil should be 1 gram to 2 ml. So what is the volatile oil here? Is eucalyptus oil. That is the volatile oil. Magnesium carbonate 1 gram to 2 ml. It means that 1 gram of magnesium carbonate for each 2 ml of volatile oil. Volatile oil here you are using 5 ml. So for 5 ml, you would need 2.5 gram of magnesium carbonate. For the magnesium carbonate and volatile solid is menthol because menthol is in the form of crystal, is a solid. The ratio is 1 gram to 2 gram. Okay, so it means that when you have 0.875 gram of menthol, you would need 0.44 gram of magnesium carbonate. And after that, you will just have to mix, you just have to add between the amount of magnesium carbonate between for the oil and the solid, and then you would need you would have 2 point, so I'm mistaken here, 2.94. Yes, 2.94 gram of magnesium carbonate. Okay, so that this will be the amount of magnesium carbonate that you would need to prepare this product. You have any question? Do you want me to repeat anything?
No.
Boleh eh? Okay. So how should you prepare this product? First, again, you have to tear a suitable container. So what container? You are going to supply 50 ml. So you would need 50 ml fluted bottle. 50 ml fluted bottle. You have to tear the bottle. Okay, you put a mark at 50 ml. And then you weigh the magnesium, carbonate, you weigh the menthol and eucalyptus oil. Okay, you have to pay attention here because menthol and eucalyptus oil are volatile, means that it evaporates easily. So you only weigh or measure them when you want to prepare the product. You cannot measure early on, leave them on your bench and you go do something else. You will lose your product. Okay, you will lose your ingredient. So what you should do is that you have to you have to weigh the magnesium carbonate, put aside, and then only you weigh the menthol and the eucalyptus oil. After you weigh the menthol and eucalyptus oil, you mix them immediately in a beaker. You have to ensure complete solubilization of the menthol, and then because you are going to prepare a suspension, if you remember that I explained earlier on, you have to put the powder first. So you transfer the magnesium carbonate into the mortar. You add in the volatile ingredient slowly that you have solubilized just now, right? You add in slowly into the mortar. You mix, distribute evenly, and then you add a little bit of water because if you refer to your prescription here, you have about 5 ml and some grams of powder. So you can add about 30 ml of water into the mortar. Add in 30 ml of water little by little, and then you transfer them into the TET container, which is the TET bottle. Okay, and then you can add in water until the marked volume. And then you can cap, shake, and label. So the label should be like this. Again, it should be red. Red label. Okay, it should be 50 ml menthol and eucalyptus oil. Inhalation, so 5 ml. So it should be one teaspoonful to be diluted with 1 cup of hot water. Inhale the vapor. Inhale the vapor. Shake the bottle before use. This is very important because you are going to prepare suspension. So you have to tell them to shake the bottle. For external use only, and please discard after 4 weeks and put the date. Okay. Okay, so that would be the 4 preparation for practical 1. But during the practical, I will see later on. Maybe you will only have to prepare 3 out of the 4. I will decide later on which one that you will need not to prepare. But at the moment, you have to prepare the compounding worksheet for all 4 products. Okay, the compounding worksheet should be filled for all 4 products. Have any question? No question, everything is okay?
Doctor, I have a question.
Okay.
Regarding the labeling paper, do we have any size specification?
Size, eh?
Yes. Because you
Size.
say we can prepare at home.
Yeah, you can. I'm thinking. Remind me later on, I will give you the size. Okay?
Okay, okay.
I
Okay,
will
thank you,
send you the
doctor.
WhatsApp group. I have to find a ruler first to see.
Okay, okay.
Any other question? I did record this meeting, this briefing, so I will upload later on in eLearn. Any other question? Everything is okay? Okay. I think we'll stop here. But if you have any difficulties afterwards on filling the compounding worksheet, don't hesitate to email me or to message me. I will try to help you. Okay. It's a bit difficult because you are not here. Because I can't really show you exactly how things are. But it's okay. We will try our best to make do with what we have. Okay, so if you have any other questions, you can send to me, and I will try to help you. Okay, so about your test just now, you don't have to worry. I will remark them. Okay, and I think you should be. I think you are answering just okay. It's just the system that marking like that. Okay, you don't have any question, yeah? Okay, so I would like to thank you for attending this session and see you again maybe next week. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
And bye, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank
doctor.
you and bye, Doctor.